Today's presentation is about consistency, why it is critical for you to develop consistency, and the 5 ways of doing so. The difference between outstanding and world class is simply doing the things that you ought to do consistently over time, day in, day out. That's that 15% difference, right? That 15% between outstanding and world class. The way to get that is to act like a professional athlete and get that 15%. Let's go ahead and dive in. 5 ways to build consistency. Let's go. This is me. You know who I am. If you don't, I'm a lawyer who coaches lawyers. I practiced law for 24 years. I owned and managed a very successful law firm for 16 of those. I am also a professional certified coach by the International Coaching Federation. I've got training in core energy leadership and performance dynamics. And I've also trained at the Flow Research Collective with Stephen Kotler and his group. This is me presenting to a group of 300 or so leaders in their field, which is the law. And this is me talking about the different ways to lead. And of course, one of the key ways to lead is to be consistent. The difference between extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra. That's Cowboys head coach Jimmy Johnson, Cowboys and Miami Hurricanes. He's got a Super Bowl ring or two to prove it. He's got a national championship to prove it. That's the difference. It's that little extra. That's what we're going to be talking about today. What separates the, again, outstanding from the world class. That's why we're here. Robert Collier says the success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. That is true. We've all heard about the 10,000 hour rule, about how important it is to practice your craft for 10,000 hours, to really get good at it. And I'm here to tell you the difference between average, outstanding, and elite is the ability to consistently do the small things over time, day in and day out. That's what makes the difference. It's not innate talent, it's not having some sort of gift. It is about doing the work. That's success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Let me ask you this. I'm going to come off a share for just a second here. Let me ask you this. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, right here, right now. How consistent are you? 10 being you do the small things day in and day out, every day to achieve your goals and be successful. Or you're consistently inconsistent. That's a 5, or you're not consistent at all. That's a 1. Rate yourself on that scale of 1 to 10. Be honest, be brutally honest. That's what it's all about. That's how you improve, is by looking at yourself in that crystal clear mirror and being 100% honest. Got that number? By the time we get to our end today, that number is going to be better. I promise you. There are 5 ways to build consistency. Stop with the excuses and get the results. Here are the 5 ways. I'm going to list them, and then we're going to talk about each and every one of them. Number 1, define clear goals and objectives for you, for your team, for your family, for your community. Number 2, implement structured planning and organization. If you don't have a structure, it is impossible to be consistent. It's just not going to happen. You have to implement Consistent, I should have put that in there, structured planning and organization. So important, critical. Number three, foster open communication. Open communication is essential to being consistent. It's indispensable. Number four, prioritize continuous learning and development. If you're not focused on you and continuously learning, continuously improving, you won't be consistent because you'll get bored or you'll get distracted. Focus on you. And number five, cultivate self awareness and mindfulness. It's not woo woo, there's science to back it up. Let's dive in. Again, here are the 5 ways to build consistency. Number one, define clear goals and objectives. Number two, implement structured planning and organization. Number three, foster open communication. Number four, prioritize continuous learning and development. And number five, cultivate self awareness and mindfulness. Let's dive in. We've all heard about SMART goals. I've talked about SMART goals before, both in my blog and in live presentations. I talk about them all the time, all the time, all the time. Here's the thing, don't fall into the trap of listening to the gurus and the experts and what their definition of a SMART goal is, because they have taken it, the original definition, and they've bastardized it, they've changed it, and it results in mediocrity, and it results, quite honestly, in inconsistency. So the experts will tell you in the present that SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I'm here to tell you that achievable ain't it. It's not how it was defined when SMART goals originally came out. That is not what the A stands for. It just isn't. Put it out of your mind. Do not set SMART goals as people tell you to set them. Instead, you have to set specific, measurable, aspirational things that are going to move the needle for you, relevant to your sphere and your goals, and time bound. That's the SMART goal framework that you ought to be using. So that's one way to stay consistent, is to set specific, measurable, aspirational, relevant, and time bound goals so that you continuously move forward, right? If it's not specific, you won't know if you've gotten there. If it's not measurable, how do you know if you've succeeded? If it's not aspirational, you're going to lose interest. If it's not relevant, it's not really going to move you forward to the vision that you have for your future. If you don't have a vision, you ought to get one, create one, document one. And if it's not time bound, you'll believe that you have all the time in the world. And you don't. So, number one, set SMART goals. Number two, structure and planning. This is a photo of one of my Sunday planning sessions. Every Sunday, I pull out my full focus planner. It's a Michael Hyatt product. I get no revenue, I get no money from Michael Hyatt. I just have settled on that planner as best for me. Settle on a planner that's best for you. I structure and plan my week, right? And so I look at the week that has passed, and I determine what worked, what didn't. Where did I fall short? Where did I succeed? And celebrate. And then I plan the week going forward. What's it going to be like? What are my goals for this week? What's my 12-week year look like? A book by Brian Moran brings the present or the future into the present. What are my goals? And I have a structure around my Sunday routine. So that's mine. Sunday session at a local coffee shop, whether I'm in Boise, in Baja, or in Budapest. Doesn't matter. Sunday mornings, planning sessions. Number two, another structure and planning method or tool is My workday startup. How do you start your workday? If you create a habit of starting your workday at the same way, at the same time, you're going to be consistent. You're going to build consistency because you take the guesswork out of it. You sit down at your desk or you stand at your standing desk and you're ready to begin your day. You will know this is how I always start. That is the definition of consistency. Same thing at the back end of your day. When you end your workday, do you have a routine to shut down, to turn the business side sign from open to closed? It's essential, especially in this work from home environment or being geographically independent like I am. It's essential to be able to take the business sign and turn it to closed so that you live your life. And so, one way to do that is to create a ritual at the end of the day. What's your workday shutdown ritual? How do you end each and every day? When you end each and every day the same way, then you build consistency. Structure and planning, so important to building consistency throughout your performance. Number three, open communication. How does open communication enable you and empower you to be consistent? It may not be obvious on the surface, so let's dig a little bit deeper, right? Brene Brown said, clarity is kind. It's more than that. She's right. And it's more than that. Being crystal clear with your team, with your clients, with your friends, with your family, with yourself. Go back to SMART goals. Everyone's going to understand what your strategy is, what your goals are, and what your expectations for them are. What's more, they're going to support you. They're going to support you in wanting to achieve the things that you want to achieve. When you have a team supporting you, you are much more likely to achieve your goals. And so, having a team and sharing with them in an open way your strategies, your goals, and your expectations for them will empower you to consistently move forward every single day, every single time. Open communication. Number four, continuous learning and development. Don't forget, you are the most important part of your law practice. Without you, none of it happens. Without you, your clients aren't served. Without you, your family or community isn't taken care of. Without you, your friends don't have you, right? You are the most important part of it all. We forget, we leverage technology, we lean into technology, we leverage human capital, we create a team around us. Super important stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all about you. Make it all about you. If you're not focused on improving yourself, not only by keeping up on developments in the law, which you have to do, right? There's new stuff coming out all the time. But you have to also focus on human performance because at the end of the day, you are the machine that drives it all. And if your machine isn't taken care of, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to be sputtering. You're going to be my old 1969 VW Bug versus an F1 machine. By focusing on continual development and learning, you will become that F1 because you will be consistent, right? This continuous learning and development is what Jimmy Johnson referred to as that little extra, throwing in your human performance, your personal development. That's the little extra. Every single lawyer keeps up on the law. I shouldn't say that. Every single lawyer worth their salt keeps up with the law. Every single outstanding lawyer keeps up with the law. Every single elite or world class attorney keeps up with human performance, developing themselves. That's another way. That's the fourth way to build consistency. The fifth way to build consistency is to build self awareness and mindfulness. Listen, cultivating self awareness and mindfulness isn't woo woo. It's not woo woo. It is essential to being consistent because if you're not self aware, you're not going to know when you're not being consistent, or you won't know when you are being consistent. Okay. It's this self awareness and mindfulness, right? We live in a VUCA world, VUCA. That stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. 2024, 2025, 2026, whenever you're watching this video, we live in a VUCA world, and it's just going to get more VUCA y as we go. One way to combat or to move effectively through or to remain consistent in a VUCA world is by cultivating self awareness and mindfulness. Number one, it's the gateway to flow. If you create a mindfulness regimen and consistently perform it, you're much more likely to drop into a flow state where your productivity increases by 500%, your work product skyrockets, your life work balance or blend is so much better because in effect you're creating more time because you are so efficient. By cultivating self-awareness and mindfulness, we are much more likely to take purposeful action consistently instead of the alternative, which is being on autopilot and being distracted. Now, there is a lot to be said about autopilot in certain aspects, right? Earlier in this presentation, I talked about creating a habit, the morning ritual, the workday startup ritual, the workday shutdown ritual, and your planning session. Those become habits. Those are effective habits. Ask yourself, how often are you on autopilot and are being ineffective? How often do you doom scroll or pick up the phone to get into social media or do wasting wasteful activities, activities that don't move the needle forward? How often do you waste your time? If you are self-aware and you are mindful, you are much less likely to waste time because you're going to come to the realization of, oh, I'm wasting time now. Time to get back. Time to get back. Time to get back to doing the small things over and over and over again. Those things that really, quite honestly, don't feel like they move the needle. That's the thing about being consistent. It's doing the things that don't feel that hard to do because over time, you create an exponential effect. You create compounding interest on the activities that you're doing. Should I send 10 emails today? It doesn't really feel like it's going to do a whole lot in a client creation space. No, it may not. It may, but it may not. And so that over time, though, does. And so creating that self awareness and mindfulness takes us off of autopilot, which is so very, very important. That's it. We're coming in for a landing. So, if you want to learn more about how coaching with me can empower you to become more consistent than you've ever been, which will result in increased revenue, satisfaction, and balance, hit me up. Send me an email or go to my website and book a 30-minute discovery session. Let me take this off. We don't need that right now. right? Email me, message me. I am here to serve everyone, all lawyers, outstanding lawyers. I'm here to serve you all. Let's take a minute and let's go back to the 5 ways to build consistency. I'm going to pull that slide up one more time here. We'll do that. Define clear goals. That's number one. Number two, implement structured planning and organization. Create habits for yourself where you consistently do things because consistency moves across aspects of your life, right? The Navy SEALs say, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you're consistent in planning and organization, that consistency is going to move out from there into other aspects of your life. Foster open communication. Prioritize continuous learning and self development. And do not forget, cultivate self awareness and mindfulness. The 5 ways to build consistency. There they are. You have them. Go out into the world and begin. If you have questions or you need assistance, hit me up. Take care. Be well.